So here we have a lesson tabs, right? That presumably we would like to be able to display different things for that lesson. Before we do that, notice that we have these these modules that we're clicking on here, right? And we certainly can display the ID of the current module because we are encoding it here on the URL. One good thing that we'd like to be able to do is, for instance, highlight the module that we have selected. So the way we could do that is that when we are rendering the list of modules, right? What we could do is compare the ID of each one of the modules against the currently selected one, based on the URL. If they match, then we would like to highlight it. So for instance, each one of these modules, right, it also has an ID, which we can render. Let's see what they are. Right. Notice that we have these, long IDs, right? That if we click on that, see that 258, right, matches this 258. If I click on that, then it's v2 matches that. So we can have a logic that says dynamically set a class that allows me to highlight this, right? Well, there is a class that allows me to do that, right? If you remember, there's the active class, which allows me to highlight it, although you can't read the contents. We can fix that. We can fix that by styling this. If we go to the component, there's a CSS style sheet for this particular component, and in here we can just say, hey, that active class, if it's followed by a hyperlink, I want to change the foreground color to be white. Okay, so there we go. Now we can read what they say. So anyway, but we don't want to highlight all of them. We only want to highlight the one where the ID that is encoded here matches the ID of a particular element, right? And the way we could do that is by, in the HTML, we want to programmatically add this active class, right? We don't want to for all of them. Instead, we want to do it programmatically. Well, Angular provides just that. It provides a class attribute, right, that takes as argument a JSON object. Okay, and this JSON object allows you to create a name value pairs, right, that allow you to turn on and off different classes based on different predicates, right? So for instance, what you can do here is that the name of the property of this JSON file, of this JSON object, is the name of the class that you want to that you want to apply to this element, and it will only apply that class if the value of that JSON, right, is true, right? So if this is true, then it always applies, right? It always applies. If this is false, then it never applies, right? So it doesn't apply to any one of them. So what we'd like to be able to do here is create an expression that says that if the current module ID, right, is equal to the module ID as I'm iterating over this, right? If that's true, then I want to apply the active, right? And indeed, notice that indeed now this one is highlighted. So if I click on this, it highlights the correct one based on the URL, based on this URL, right? If it matches, right? That makes sense? All right.